there are many, many advantages, and I don't mean myself, but it comes out that way. Many, many advantages having a teacher present, having a Lama present. There are many, many advantages when there's not. You see, it's not about having a big center, because a few centers here, they don't have lamas. They have great presidents and they have great committee, and it's wonderful. And they can raise great funds and they can open up big retreat centers and all that. And that's wonderful. We need more. But what we need is not just the buildings, but what we need is the Dharma to grow. How does the Dharma grow? Let me tell you. This is my version, all right, for Malaysians. My version is, on the initial level, husbands and wives become closer. Partners become closer. Brothers and sisters become closer. Children and parents become closer. Relatives become closer. Friends become closer. So my way of teaching Dharma is to make the family unit, or loved ones, or people we care about, closer, respected, and loved. Because the foundation of a nation is a family. And the family can be just, a man and a woman together or whatever. So a foundation of family is this harmony that brings up the kids beautifully. And if the husband has been wrong in the past, the wife forgive, teach, forgive, because it's karma. If the wife has been wrong, husband forgive. If the kids has been naughty, forgive. If the parents have done things that the kids think they don't like or something, forgive. But the important thing is to look at the big picture, that there are more benefits to be together and harmoniously. So my purpose in Malaysia to spread Dharma is to make families close and loving. And I'm a very, very big speaker and promoter of family values, respect for parents and children, and very, very big. Very, very big. Because if we break families apart, or we don't encourage, not us, if the families break apart and we don't encourage it, the kids grow up very different. It's very, very not good. So I've come across hundreds of cases where the husbands were errant, the wives are saints, and vice versa. And what I do is, instead of, there are rare cases where I say, you cannot. But most cases I say, no, must be together. Why? Everybody needs company. Everybody needs family. Everybody needs to respect. You see, if we can't respect our husband and wife, how can we respect all sentient beings? If we can't respect our own father and mother, how can we respect anyone in our lives? We have to start somewhere. We have to show respect and concern and love somewhere. Once we show that, it grows everywhere else. So my main concern in Malaysia, in the southern region, Malaysia and our surrounding countries, is to make the family safe, protected, loved, harmonious, and to get along better. And that will be the first step of Dharma practice. I don't want people to run away from their families and go and become a nun and hang out in a cave. That's very nice, but we're not strong enough for that, and the people here are not strong enough for that, and they're not ready for that. I did that. I ran away when I was 15 to go meditate in a cave. And I'm 40 now. I ran away at 15. That's 25 years ago. And I never went back home again. And I lived on my own, I supported myself, and I took care of myself. You see, but not everybody's me. My determination to practice the Dharma is 100%. I rather die than to grow up, get married, have kids, go to college, get a degree, make money, get old, and die. And I used to not be able to sleep when I was very young, thinking about all that and not wanting to get into that cycle, because I looked at my parents, my step-parents, I looked at my neighbors, I looked at my friends' parents, I looked all around me, I looked at the TV, and I thought, nobody's really happy doing that. They're just doing that because there's nothing else to do. I'm not putting it down, but that's not what I want to do. And I used to have nightmares about that. And I used to dread going to college. You know why? I dreaded going to college because I thought I'll have to spend 5 to 6 to 7 years wasting my time studying something that doesn't help me at death. This is what I used to think as a kid. And I told that to my parents. They just told me I'm insane. I used to get beaten up for it. They told me that the church or the temple is telling me all kinds of nasty things and they're brainwashing me. But what they don't understand is I had to stop before I went to the temple. I had to stop before I went to meet my guru. It was in me all the time as a young child. And I always have longings to go to the mountains, to the caves, somewhere that has a small lake nearby, green, and I will be in a cave or I'll be somewhere there doing my practice. I always have that kind of vision, not vision, but like wish, since I was a kid. Always some cave, some forest, green, not a jungle, not an ocean, and there's a lake nearby. Always always I had this longing and wish to find this place. So I lived in New Jersey, so I used to run to New York City. From New York City, I run to upper state New York or North Jersey, where there was the Appalachian Mountains, and tried to find a cave. And I was caught by the police many times and sent back home because juvenile, under 18 cannot. But anyways, I ran away many, many times, and I did practices and I did meditations every night. It was very evil. I used to get Vajrayaogini's meditation, and I found it in the book Evans Wen's Secret Doctrines, Tibetan Secret Doctrines and Yogas. I used to get that and meditate every night. Maybe that's why my wind's a little off now, because I didn't get initiation that time. Yeah. So I found Vajrayaogini's manual, the Kajuba form, and every night I do the meditations. There's a wind meditation I used to do every day. And I would recite Benden Lamo's mantra about 1,000, and I recite Manjushri every day 1,000. Om Mani Padme Hum, at least 2,000-3,000 a night. If I was free, I would do about 30 to 40,000 Om Mani Padme Hums per night. And that would be hiding under a blanket quietly. Because if I got caught, it would be severe. And I had one picture, a postcard of Manjushri. One postcard of Manjushri. Because you couldn't get pictures, you couldn't get anything. And I found a picture of Trijang Rinpoche. I don't know how. I can't remember. I just remember I borrowed it and I Xeroxed it. I pasted that on a piece of paper. I had Trijang Rinpoche. And I had His Holiness, of course. And I had Manjushri. And I used to do this practice all the time. And that went on for years and years and years. And then my mother would go into different fits. Sometimes she'd let me have a little picture in the room. Sometimes she wouldn't. Sometimes she'd raid my room to see if I had Dharma books. And if I did, the penalty was very severe. There would be very, very severe beatings. Very, very severe beatings. And severe punishment. Maybe 3-4 months of grounding. I can't go outside. Except school. And it was very difficult for me to practice Dharma because... physical Dharma, because my parents didn't allow it. See, they adopted me to grow up to have kids and carry on their lineage. They gave me their adopted name. And to them, it's a very big deal. So I didn't fulfill that wish and I disappointed them. But I thought, I don't want to disappoint them. You know, I'm not here to hurt them and disappoint them. But I thought if I do what they want, when I was a kid, I thought if I do what they want, then many people in the future, I can't do Dharma practice and help. So 1 or 2 people happy, I can't help. If 1 or 2 people unhappy, my step-parents, then I can help a lot of people. So I thought of it that way. I do not encourage the kids or people here to do that to their parents because it's a different society, it's a different culture, and your determination has to be very strong. That you have to go all the way with it so that you end up benefiting others. It's not just that, another trick or a ploy. So when I was a kid, I went through quite a lot in order to be here to expound the Dharma. And I was very lucky because I met very holy, illustrious teachers in America, cream of the crop from Tibet. I was very, very lucky. And I got sponsors to go to India when I was 18. And I gave everything. I gave up my job. I gave up everything I had, which wasn't much, but to somebody who doesn't have much, even small things are much. I gave up everything and went to India in 1987. 1987 went to India. I never went back to America. This is now 2006. 87 till now, I never went back to America. I never wanted to go back to America. I want to be in a mountain, near a lake, to do my practices. Nian Chen Chenpo means great retreat. That's always been my wish. But that hasn't been fulfilled. But as a protector used to tell me through the oracle, if you benefit people, what's the difference? If your motive is really that, can you turn that off? If your motive is really that, what's the difference? And I thought, yeah, that's true. So I've kind of accepted what I'm doing, that I have to teach the Dharma, and I have to make Dharma centers grow, and I have to take care of many people. And on the last trip when we met our Dharma protector through the oracle there in Nepal, he told me many, many times to advise my students and friends and teach the Dharma and benefit and help them. Always, he tells me. And the things you need, he says, I'm here with you. So I've been doing that for the last, since I was, very young. So my point is this, is that coming from a family background that was very difficult, because I was adopted twice over and all that stuff, I encourage family relations because growing up without parents, it really makes a big difference in your mind. You grow up insecure, you grow up unhappy, you grow up with your mind empty. That's how I felt for years. You grow up always looking and searching and lonely. And anything that reminds you of a parent, a father or mother, holidays, birthdays, it's very hard to take. And as a boy, you don't cry. You're not supposed to cry as a boy, so I didn't cry in public. But for many years, I suffered deep, deep loneliness. It didn't affect me. I was depressed, I was unhappy, but it didn't stop me from doing what I was doing. And I used to wonder to myself, everybody, and, and then when I come to Malaysia, being of Asian background here, the parents here really treasure their children and take care of their children so well. They really watch them and love them. And I was thinking about that even today, that I didn't even get an ounce of that, even a fraction of that care and that love. And then some people I see that their parents encourage their kids to do Dharma. They support them, they help them, they love it because they want their lives to be full and protected. I thought, boy, if I had that chance, that my parents supported me. And that, I don't know, I didn't have to run away. I didn't have to sleep outside. I didn't have to suffer crime, assaults on me. I didn't have to travel so far. That I can have nice parents and be supported too. And I thought, how lucky everybody here is. And I thought, well, there's two ways to go about it. One is to be bitter and create harm out of hurt. Or the other one is to create happiness out of hurt, and therefore your hurt heals. So what I've decided to do is that my brand of Dharma is not just attainments and Vajrayogini heaven and protectors, but more about giving the logical reasons of why we need each other. That we're all interdependent. The families are interdependent within each other, and that we need to take care of each other. Our parents don't live forever. Our kids don't live forever. Our aunties and uncles, we don't live forever. And, we have to serve them. We have to help them. We need to do what we need to do, but we need to do what we need to do with a compromise. A compromise. So what I'd like to promote in this country, and that's what I've been doing for years, is anybody who goes near me, anybody who hangs around me long enough, you will see that you become closer to your family, that you become closer to your husband, closer to your wives, because that's what I encourage. And I will do that again and again. And I will do everything I can to protect the family unit. Why? It's good for the parents. It's excellent for the children. It's a good example for others. And if we can't love our own spouse, if we can't love our own parents, if we can't love our own children, if we can't respect them, we can't do this and we can't do that, how are we going to save the world? Because the prayers say, for the sake of all sentient beings, I will do this prayer, I will do this meditation. How can we save the whole world if we can't even save our own parents, our own children? It doesn't make sense to me. So we have to start somewhere. So I thought about that. That's my brand of Dharma, is I encourage parent-children relationships, no matter what. And I encourage very much husband and wife relationships. And if I continue to have the assistance that I have, and the people to back me up, and everything, the foundation to back me up, that's what I'm going to use my body and my speech for. I'm going to use it to bring the family unit in this country and around closer and stronger and loving. And not close to me, but close to them. Because when you're close to each other, you're already close to me. That's my purpose. You see, I don't want to run a cult where it's based on my personality. I want to run Buddhism where I give you the practice, you practice. Whether I'm alive or dead or here or not, you can do it on your own. I don't want something cult. Because when it's cult, it doesn't help you, it doesn't help me. And when I die, where do you end up? So in fact, I've used you. And I'm not into things like that. I don't like things like that. I've been used and I don't like it. And I wouldn't want anybody to use. So if I make you all worship me and make me feel like a big deal, whatever, no. If you promote me and do things for me, you help me, you give me a platform to speak more to others. So that's why my brand of Buddhism will fall anywhere in the world, anywhere in this country. Why? I'm not here to change anyone on the outside. I'm not here to change who you are, your background, your culture, your Malaysianness, your whatever, your Europeanness, your Taiwaneseness, your whatever you are. I'm not here to change you. I'm here to give you a different perspective. So if I'm supported and helped and I'm pushed and propelled, I will use that for that. And for many people, that itself is already quite good. Higher than that, I will give you the steps and path for my limited knowledge to enlightenment, the sutra path. And engage in retreats and practices. And then when the time is right, confer on you the highest Mother Tantra Yoga initiations and to guide you through that. You see, whether you practice the higher Tantras 1 year, 7 years, 20 years, or 30 years is not the point. Is that when you practice, it's quality and then the attainments are very fast. But if preparation is not there, the attainments won't be there. So even if you have initiations, you hold the Vajra and bell and you can do Tok, you'll still be insane, you'll still be having a lot of anger and ego and you want attention and you're not happy with this and that. Why? Having initiation doesn't change anything. Having initiation prematurely is actually a downfall. Why? You're a very bad example for people. If you have initiation, you're holding a Vajra and bell, you should already be Vajra meaning compassion, bell meaning wisdom. So when you're holding that Vajra bell and outside of that you act funny, power games and all that, it's a detriment to Dharma. It's a detriment to the Tantra that you practice. It's a detriment to the higher Tantras. And in fact, people look and say, oh, practice Tantra, ring bell like that. And especially in this country where Dharma is not fertile yet, very fertile, we have to be extra compassionate to show a good view. So the first part of Dharma is family. That's very, very important to me. And as I say, whoever comes near me, whoever receives teachings from me, whoever has any friendship with me or any closeness, you will see you get closer to your family. I will make sure of it. That will be my result. Why? That is my immediate aim. And close doesn't mean you sit on top of your mother's head all day long. Close means from the heart, the care, the respect and the concern. Because before we met Buddha, our parents are the object of our offerings. When we meet the Buddha, it's the Buddha and then our parents. But before that, it's our parents.